Supporting your local news, Airpark Canterbury, Logistics Drive and Parking Island off Rustley Road.
Christchurch woman Dominique McShain's life was turned upside down. Earlier this year, after feeling slightly unwell, she sought medical advice, but nothing could have prepared the 21-year-old for the devastating news that followed. News that would change her life forever.
Hi, my name's Dominique and I'm making this video because 2 weeks ago I got diagnosed with incurable colorectal cancer which had metastasized to my liver. I wanted to start this TikTok because essentially what I wanted to do in my life was help people. It was going to be through psychology. I was, until 2 weeks ago, a third-year psychology student. And I wanted to do clinical psychology eventually, and that would take another 5 years to study for, and my doctors gave me 1 to 5 years to live. I'm 20 by the way, so that's 25 maximum. I wanted to make a difference somehow and leave something behind and hopefully help people, and I know that cancer is getting a lot more common in the colon for like younger people, so I really wanted to eventually share my symptoms and like raise awareness just so that other people hopefully will get to catch it sooner before me, because it sucks. Like everything has kind of been taken away from me.
Dominique's TikTok video sharing her story has since gone viral, sparking an outpouring of love and support from across the globe. Dominique now joins me. Thank you very much for your time. The first question I guess I want to ask is, how are you feeling right now?
In between. I'm good at the moment, yeah. Yeah.
You are a remarkable young lady, and as I was saying to you off air, my friend came across your TikTok video, your very first TikTok video.
I won't get to be a mum, which is something I was working towards in my career, and then I was going to be a mum, and that was my whole plan, and it was a lot of people's plans. But yeah, I won't get to do what I wanted to do with my career, which sucks as well. But yeah, I'm hoping with this I can make a difference.
Do you remember that time when the doctor told you your diagnosis and what went through your mind?
Yeah, I remember it very well. I think it always like replays over and over in my mind. Yeah, it was really interesting. Well, it kind of like was a few days between the time where I found out I had cancer and then that it was terminal. So yeah, when I found out it was cancer, no one expected it. I just had a biopsy, and yeah, I was going to be sent home from the hospital, and then that afternoon the doctor came in with my mum, and yeah, they broke the news that I had cancer, so that was quite shocking. But I think the worst was definitely when I got told it was terminal. So that was like a few days later once they'd done more testing, and I remember they were talking about chemo and those treatments, and I asked about like freezing my eggs because I knew that chemo would affect fertility and everything, and the doctor basically said it depended on my lifespan, and that's when I found out it was terminal. And then we had to wait a few more hours for them to tell me how long I was predicted to have. Yeah.
Do you mind me asking, what goes through your mind when they tell you that your cancer is terminal? What do you remember what goes through your mind? It must be a flood of emotions.
Yeah, it's definitely like disbelief, because you always like trust in the health system and think like, oh, it's going to be fixed by a pill or something random. So to have something that no one can fix and is like kind of out of your control, it's hard. So yeah, I think just that really, just disbelief really.
You're doing so well though, and you are probably helping so many people with your journey and the videos that you put on social media about your journey with cancer. What made you decide to go so public with what's happened or what is happening to you?
Yeah, it was definitely a hard decision because I was actually quite private before on social media, but I think I wouldn't have done it if it had just been cancer and not terminal. Yeah, so I think since it was terminal and it was such like a different experience, I really just wanted to help people through sharing my journey, and it definitely has. Like, I've had so many messages of people saying like, I went and got a colonoscopy, and one woman actually found cancer because she was like prompted by my videos to go get a colonoscopy. So it's been, just seeing how much impact I'm having and how I'm helping people, really.
Was there any history of this type of cancer within your family, or?
Nope, not at all.
For those watching, I can imagine one of the questions might be what symptoms you picked up on that prompted you to seek medical assistance in the first place.
Yeah, well, I just was in my third year of university this year, and I'd gone back to uni, and I was noticing that kind of every day I was sleeping way too much. I would sleep a full night, like 8 to 9 hours, and then during the day I would be napping another 5 to 6 hours, and I couldn't watch lectures. I'd be falling asleep. Like, it was getting really hard to study and work and everything. And I also was having like blood in my stool, and I was switching between like constipation and diarrhea and like just being normal, and it was really odd. And then a few weeks later after that, I started getting like abdominal pain. I lost my appetite, and my stomach shape had changed a lot because my liver is part of the metastasis, so it was like really swollen. So those are the symptoms I can remember at the moment.
And so as your journey continues, when you're well enough to do so, you often post about what's happening to you. And I was watching one of your TikTok videos recently that there was a positive diagnosis for you recently, if I can use the word positive in the nicest possible terms. Tell us about that.
Yeah, that was really cool. So I had been doing 3 months of chemo with like 2 chemicals, and after that the scan showed like basically no change. Some things had grown, some things had stayed the same, and like my primary tumor in my colon had shrunk, but that's not really the problem tumor. We hadn't really had good news at any appointment. And then I started this new chemo drug called oxyplatin, and after 1 round they did a tumor marker blood test, and everything had dropped significantly. So that means there's like less active cancer cells. It doesn't guarantee that there's shrinkage, but hopefully it's a good sign of shrinkage. So yeah, it's definitely my first positive news.
It seems like you need some positive news. Tell us about the chemotherapy treatment and how grueling that is on you and your body.
Yeah. So when I was just on the 2 chemicals, I can't quite remember the names off the top of my head. I think fulfuri and I can't remember the other one.
Doesn't matter.
But yeah, that started off like quite hard. I had a lot of like nausea, and I was really sick for the first year. And then my oncologist changed the like side effect medication, which helped a lot. And honestly, it got easier and easier for chemo. But once I started the oxyplatin, that is not a nice drug. It's really harsh. So yeah, it kind of means that for a full week, I'm like sleeping a lot and like have so much nausea, and yeah, I feel like I'm a fully functioning person every second week, because the first week of chemo, I'm just not. I need looked after, and it's horrible.
And by the time you've completed your round of chemo and the terrible side effects, it's probably back to the chemo again, isn't it?
Yeah. I do usually manage to get like 1 good week where I can go like do things and see friends. But yeah, the first week's definitely out of the picture.
What I've noticed watching your TikTok videos, even when you're struggling with your chemotherapy and the after effects of that, you seem remarkably upbeat for a young woman whose future may be cut short, but it may not be, because there's always hope, as you've just explained. How do you keep that attitude? Because I think that is bloody remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, you don't always see everything on social media, so there's lots of times that I'm crying, my family's crying, it's awful. But I think in general I'm quite positive, and I don't really want to live, if I have limited months or years, I don't really want to live it negative. That was like one of the big things for me. I didn't want to let my mental health slip, because what's the point in that? So it's just making the most of life, really. And it gives you hope. It gives me hope. As long as I'm alive, there's still a chance of curing. Of course there is. And you think of it this way, medical science progresses every single day. It really does. For sure. It really does. When you started your TikTok video,
Were you surprised by the outpouring of love that you received from people that weren't in your situation, also those who were in your situation? Was it all-encompassing? Was it overwhelming? Does it help?
It was overwhelming because I posted one video and then all of a sudden, like, it just got so many views. I don't know, something in the algorithm spiked it, but yeah, it was quite insane. I'm not gonna lie, I had a stress migraine for the first week because I was so overwhelmed by it. Yeah, at first it was like quite intimidating, honestly, thinking about like how many people were seeing it. And yeah, I'd have like family members or like friends commenting on it to them, being like, oh, did you see this girl, like including in Australia and things. So yeah, it was just crazy seeing the outreach, but yeah, I'm very used to it now, and yeah, I like it. Yeah.
Well, the lovely comments and the inspirational feedback that you get is just, it really is incredible. And I would, what I'll do is I'll make sure that people can have access to your user details to follow your journey. If you didn't have this diagnosis, what would you be doing?
Well, I'd still be at university. I'd almost be graduating from my bachelor's, and then looking at applying for like masters or something. I was also working and I had to quit that quite quickly. So yeah, I think I'd just be living life still. I'd still be studying, still be working, and yeah, driving. I don't drive either now. Yeah, just living life a bit more, I think. Yeah.
Tell me about the mock wedding photos you had. I thought that was really lovely.
Good morning. Oh yeah, this lovely girl called Lavender Turner Photography. She's really good. She, for my 21st, she had reached out and said she wanted to do free photography for me for that, which was so nice, and she's so talented. So I took her up on that, and then she kind of had this idea that me and my partner could kind of like do a mock wedding thing. I don't know how to explain it, but yeah, a bunch of brands got together, and it was cool for me and my partner because we got to see like things we liked and didn't like. But we are having a real wedding in December, and she's also doing the photography for that. But yeah.
Fantastic. The real wedding, eh?
Yeah.
Have you decided on the location?
Yeah, we definitely have. It's up in the hills in Christchurch. Yeah.
Sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, now that you've said that, is there anything you need, or you might as well use this opportunity, or is everything sorted for the wedding? Do you need some further support?
I think it is pretty much sorted for now. Yeah. I think like in the future we need to look at like a honeymoon thing, but obviously with my health we can't plan it yet. But yeah, honeymoon things. But yeah, the wedding's pretty much good to go. Yeah.
Well, can I say congratulations then? Why not?
Thank you.
Congratulations. This is fantastic news. Look, it's been an absolute pleasure to speak with you despite the adverse circumstances that bring us together. I just find you remarkable, and you know, I just hope that people will go to your TikTok page and see your strength and see your inspiration. I know it's not every day that things are great for you. I really know that, and I really thank you for your time. And as I say, there's hope, and you're doing so well. So thank you so much for your time.
Thanks for interviewing me.
You're most welcome.